All right, welcome back to another episode of Wildside Wrestling Podcast. The ninth episode in our women's showcase. We got the co-host Jeff James Jr. and joining us today, Eden Gray. How we doing?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wildside Podcast. I'm so excited to be here. We've been talking about doing this for forever, so thank you for finally having me and making the time
Of
I was
course, of
about to
course.
say we've talked about trying to get you on
for
for
forever.
it's been a minute. It has been a very long minute, but hey,
And
you're
what
here now.
better time than representing our women's showcase, right?
Exactly. It was meant to be this way.
Well, Eden, just if you don't mind starting and telling us your story. How did wrestling come into your life? What does it mean to you? What made you make the decision to become a wrestler?
This is one of the deepest, best questions that anybody could ever ask me. Wrestling is into my core. A lot of people join professional wrestling because they love it, right? Like, we all love wrestling. But for me, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than just loving wrestling and just loving to perform. When I was a kid, I was homeless and in and out of domestic violence shelters. And the only thing I ever had was wrestling. That was the only thing that was accessible to me. Um, so being in the midst of chaos, and yes, I'm going to go deep into detail here. Being in like a drug addict's home, my mom was a drug addict. Um, that was my escape. And for me, it gave me hope that there was more to life than the life I was living at that time. It gave
Mhm.
me hope that there was something in this world for me. And the idea of being able to do that for somebody else is what made me want to become a professional wrestler. Because if
Okay.
it could save me in my mindset, who's to say I can't do that for somebody else? So for me, it's always just been my plan A. I never had a plan B. It was always wrestling since I was young.
I love it. I love it. It's like,
I relate to that very not like finding the escape and then making wrestling mean something more and then having the mindset of being like I
mhm.
want to be the hero that like I never had
Yeah.
is very much why I do what I do too, because also it's a part of keeping my dad like keeping that part of my dad alive as well. You know what I mean? Because like I'm a second generation. My dad wrestled. I lost him when I was 13, and then it was like the only way I really had to connect with him
Yeah.
still was wrestling. And I was like, dude, I gotta be my own hero and also somebody else's. Cause like then it'll be worth it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's the connections. The connections are seriously out here saving lives, and I
Yeah.
stand by that. I stand by that too for forever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like that's the whole reason of like why it means so much. I can't stop because somebody else out there is going to look up to me and I'm
Mhm.
going to be the reason to keep having a tomorrow. You know what
You
I mean?
never know who's watching. You truly don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then, like, after your matches, intermission, or even after the show, the people come up to you, they'll tell you their story too. It's like, yo, that's real empowering how you're coming here to see me.
Yeah. Like I love it. I love it.
I'm a really emotional person, so it will never not make me cry when, especially when somebody like travels to a different state to see me wrestle.
Yeah.
I will cry every single time, and it's so hard for me because I'm this big, scary, mean heel persona, but I'm a softie, so it doesn't work. It doesn't work always.
And it's
I
It's
always
every
just
try to
time.
say
hi,
I'm not
Eden, and I'm just
emotional,
like,
but
ah,
every time
don't cry, don't
it
cry,
happens.
don't cry.
Yeah.
Every time. All the heels are the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Nicest people in the world. Nicest people in the world.
So,
Very
when it
pleasing.
came to starting your wrestling training and career, where did you find yourself, and about how long were you training for before you actually got into the groove of things?
So I was training for a better part of a year before I actually started performing in front of crowds. I tried multiple different wrestling schools to find a place that suited my mindset for wrestling.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is everybody trains differently. Some
Mhm.
people train very much old school style. Um, they're focused on the the technical aspects of wrestling. Other schools are more focused on the wrestling psychology. Other schools are focused on the athletics, the high flying maneuvers, and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to ping a little bit at all of them, just so I
Okay.
could have this well rounded character, because that's what I wanted for myself. And just like pushing limits, because it's nice to be a technical wrestler and to have all these power moves, but I'm not very well balanced. In real life, I am a klutz. So I really wanted to learn how to fly. I really wanted to learn how to like jump off of things confidently. So I kind
Mhm.
of pushed myself into other schools. And unfortunately, I live in upstate New York and there aren't very many options here. I can either drive 5 hours to New York City or I can drive like 3 hours to Buffalo. There's really not much middle ground. So for me, it was like, okay, if I want to be a wrestler, I'm going to have to. What I did was I quit my job and I started working on the road, and that's how I was able to finance my training. I had no other choice. I wasn't about to pick up my home life and move. I had no choice
Yeah.
in those regards. So, better part of a year to answer your question.
Okay. I got you. I got you.
Going back on
It's
the whole you're a clutch thing, I almost broke my nose the other day in training. So like I get it. And it was all my fault, but I get it. I am a clumsy joker. But when I am a clumsy joker, but when I have another human on my shoulder, I'm like, all right, lock in, because if I fall and he falls, this is all bad.
Like for me,
It's
that's
it,
always been super easy. Like holding somebody is one thing. I'm a very strong base, especially when I come from like a bodybuilding background. It's just the balance part of like springing off of things. That's what like it's scary. I'm afraid of heights. So the
yeah,
idea of just launching myself and letting go, it's terrifying to me.
because
don't know
like
if you
your
know
body
who he is.
communicates with your legs. They're like, wait a minute, we're not supposed to be up
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Also, I got an extra 6 feet on wherever else I'm jumping off of. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's a 6 foot ring, but also I'm 6 feet. So that's 12 feet in my eyes. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know who he is, but Sean Legacy, he says it all the time that he is genuinely afraid of heights and his whole style is high flying. So like
Mhm.
if you ever watch him wrestle, the moment he gets to the top, he's going, because I can't give myself time to think about it. Just go
Oh,
go.
just go.
Like, okay, I'm here
Just
now.
go. Like, okay, go. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't do I'm a big boy, luckily, so I don't have to do the whole like big high fly stuff, because
It's
your boy don't like heights.
for me.
No, 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 no. Your boy don't like heights. No, 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 no.
So, in terms of like a fantasy booking sort of situation, if you were to build yourself a faction alongside yourself, who would you put in it? Choosing somebody off of television, somebody of the opposite gender, and then somebody you're fond of. Can be the same gender or opposite.
That's a lot because my answer is only going to be one answer out of all of that.
Okay.
If I were to build a faction, I would probably want my trainer to be in that faction. He is my wrestling father. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Colin Delaney, but he is my all-time wrestling guru.
Okay.
I think that if I were to build a faction, he would definitely be there, all for it, and he would probably just jump right in head first with me. Um, I've never really put too much thought into factions otherwise.
Yeah.
And hear me out. A lot of times when you join a faction, you become an identity with that faction,
Hmm.
Mhm.
which makes it incredibly difficult to spread apart as a single artist because when people hear your name, they imagine the entire faction.
Yeah.
So for me, it was never even really a thought, I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah, you want to make your own story, be unique in your own regard, you know?
Yeah, I want to be able to come and go as I please without being attached to somebody else in some way. So, yeah, I never really saw it as an option, never really put too much thought into it. So, thank
Okay.
you for kind of getting my gears spinning there.
I love it. Well, I love that answer. And a lot of these questions will get the brain working for sure. uh, if you were to release a book, whether you had somebody else write it or you wrote it about yourself, if you could choose anybody to narrate your audiobook version, who would that be?
Ooh.
There it is. There's the gears turning.
Am I allowed to choose myself?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think that I could have anybody else um convey the emotion the way I would convey the emotion.
Yeah.
So it would have to be me. There's no better person than myself.
Who knows your story better than you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody. That's exactly it. Nobody else has been there with me except for me. So
You're the one living it all, you know?
It's a valid. You know what? That's a valid answer. I'm honestly shocked we haven't got somebody saying me before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Not many. I think there was like one, maybe two others who said that.
Really?
But yeah. But it's like, and I love where your mind is at there. It's like, oh, yeah, nobody knows me better than me. So, of course, I'll do it. It's like, I know what I was feeling at that moment.
I know. I was there.
So, they say a great wrestler is yourself amped up to 1,000. With that being said, how do you find the best way for you is to balance your public persona and your private life?
keep them completely separate. Public persona, especially as a heel, you see that a lot of aggression, you see a lot of mockery, you see a lot of teasing from me.
Mhm.
That's just me amplifying everything in my home life up to 1,000. Like, if I have to have that aggressive persona, I have to think about something that real life makes me super, super angry. Otherwise, it's hard for me to hold myself in that way. And as fun as like the mockery I have towards my opponents when I'm heel, that's just like playful humor in my real life. So
Mhm.
I just kind of just take my personality and I'm like, you know what, somebody's gonna think this is funny because I think it's funny and you think it's funny. So
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. Um, in personal life though, it's hard
Yeah.
because even at my shoot job, uh, there are still people that call me Eden and not by my actual name.
Hmm.
So the lines kind of get really blurry, especially when I was a dancer, because my stage name was also Eden, and I
Okay.
used dancing to cross promote myself as a wrestler. So I'm like, here, I'm an entertainer here, but also you could see me do really cool stuff in the ring here. So for me it all kind of like meshed together, and
Hmm.
honestly my boyfriend is a professional wrestler too, so we're just living the whole carny life. Honestly, it's just kind of all
Beautiful.
one big blur at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's
You
like,
know what?
well,
As you should.
people know me as this here. They know me as this here. So it's like I'm
Hey,
gonna
you see
roll
me
with it.
entertaining you here. You want to go see me watch beat the shit out of somebody over here? Because you can.
Yeah, and people love it. People love it, especially because like I did exotic dancing, and a lot of that is solely based on the way you look. And
Mhm.
you're constantly putting on a mask for everybody you meet. You know, when they come in, it's like you're trying to sell something. So you're constantly kind of changing your personality in that moment to get them to spend money, right? That's kind of like the whole concept. So I used that to promote myself in wrestling because I was like, hey, I was next thing you know, I'm like selling merch at this adult entertainment club. Like selling, people are coming in with my t-shirts on and stuff like that. Like,
As you should.
Yeah.
As you
Like,
should.
like, oh, we know who you're here to see. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I,
I love it.
I love that.
So, the wrestling business is an ever-changing business, and it always has been and always will be. At the state of how it is right now, if you could change one thing about the current wrestling landscape, what would that be?
especially on the independent circuit, there needs to be more women in general. Um, I always get asked who my dream opponents on the independent scene would be. And 8 times out of 10, I don't have an answer because in such a short period of time, I have already wrestled the people I've wanted to wrestle and or the
Okay.
people I've known about. So it sounds great. It sounds amazing, but it prevents me from having something to work towards. Right.
Yeah.
Because like I want to wrestle people that are at more places than me or at more well-known places than me. I want to wrestle people that are overall better athletes than me, that I look up to, that I'm like, hey, you know what? I see what you're doing in the ring and I can see how I can make that my own type deal. I think that the lack of women we have makes it incredibly hard. But also, that being said, because there's not a lot of women, the standard of professional wrestling of what we're expected to do is very low in comparison to a male.
Mhm.
And I am not by any means crapping on the female independent scene. It might
No.
sound like I am, but there's so many men that have to work like 20 times as hard as us and that are 100 times more athletic than us and who can put on way better shows than us that are always fighting for spots on cards because there's so many of them. Um,
Mm.
the women's scene's
Yeah.
not like that. The women's scene is like if you know how to lock up, they'll put you in a match, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this is a conversation we've had a lot with many different people, which is
Hmm.
always my favorite conversation because I love hearing your guys' side of like
Yeah.
how
And that,
how it is different. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because you're right. Because you'll go to these shows and it's like they'll have one or two women matches and they'll have like
Yeah.
7 or 8 women in the back. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I'm like, you could use them more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's very painful to see good talent just sitting there watching the show when the talent in the ring is like you said, if you can do a lockup, you got a spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
And like,
unfortunately, it's like a business based on looks too. Like, if you have a certain look, uh, you will escalate. You will take off like you have rockets strapped to your feet because you have an online persona, because you look like a professional wrestler. But
Yeah.
that doesn't always mean that the other criteria is met, and it gets dangerous. And I don't think it's fair to the male talent that are busting
Hmm.
their butts day in and day out. There's a whole lot to it.
Yeah. Like, uh, you guys are in the business just as equally as the men, putting in the same amount of work, if not a lot more work sometimes, depending on the
yeah,
area. And it's like the recognition, yeah, it's there, but it's like not as heavily held on a pedestal. Jumping off what Jeff had just said, I'm like, extend your show hours, up the ticket prices to compensate for that, and let you guys shine, you know? Like,
Yeah,
don't
I
I
pick
think
agree.
the
one or two
biggest
women every single show, the same exact match. I don't know how
true.
many times month to month I see the same exact two women on the same show. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, and there's like you said, like six people others there ready to work.
I think a lot of the problem is it comes from the training. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of coaches will train a female wrestler how to be a female wrestler and not how to be a wrestler. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yes.
Which
Yes. Thank you for saying that.
something I will always praise my coach for, Ethan, is the first day we were there. I look around my class, there's 18 people there. There's like 5 or 6 girls there. And I'm like, fuck yeah, we got female talent. Fuck yeah. He looks at all of us and he goes, I want you boys to treat these women the exact same way you treat these men. He's like, I don't want you not to lock up. He's like, I want you to lock up with him the same way you would lock up with her. I want you to forearm her the same way you would forearm him. And every time I have this conversation, I'd like to say the fact that the hardest I've ever been hit was by a 4'11" small little woman. She smacked the shit out of me, and I have never been forearmed harder than her. So that really is like one thing that makes me really. This is why like the women's showcase means so much to me. Is
Hmm.
because I've been in the ring with women. I've been in the ring with women talent who have been trained to be a wrestler, not a female wrestler. And dude, they can go. They can go, and they
Yeah.
hurt. I'm still hurting from that forearm. That was
Well,
almost two
honestly,
years
like
ago.
you notice like differences in footwork too. And when I am studying my opponents, the first thing I'm watching is the way they move in the ring because
Hmm.
I was trained to wrestle like a man. So I have very direct footwork. So if I'm doing my research on my opponent and I'm watching their footwork and it looks like the ring awareness is weird with the footwork, I start to get really nervous because I can already tell in my brain how it's going to go for me. And I don't think that should be the case. I think we should all be treated like we're just professional wrestlers, not wrestle like a girl. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
standard needs to stay the same across the boards.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
wholeheartedly agree.
yeah. I love that you
Wholeheartedly
said
agree.
that. I've heard when William Regal does the tryouts at the Performance Center,
Mhm.
he'll cover his eyes to just watch your feet
He'll put
and
up
your
a piece of
footwork.
paper on the screen and he'll just watch your feet. He won't watch anything about you. He'll just watch your footwork. And if he'll tell like from there if he's willing to like move forward and
And
watch the
Right.
watch the
rest.
rest of it. Yeah.
And, like if he doesn't like what he sees in your footwork, he just moves on. And I'm like, shit, dude, that's incredible. I heard that and I'm like, I gotta log in because again, I'm a klutz. I'm slow.
Yeah. So, wrestling gives you this platform to make an impact on people. When you hear that, what do you hope people remember about you, or like what do you think uh should pop into people's minds, both as a person, as a performer, when it comes to you?
I am the definition of an underdog, professionally and personally. Like I mentioned previously, earlier on when we were talking, I was homeless. I was in and out of shelters. I never really had a place to go. I never had any kind of stability at all.
Hmm.
Um, Never having money, stuff like that. And I'm one of the few people that has spent over a year of my life driving 4 hours in one direction 3 times a week to train to become a professional wrestler while having 2 toddlers at home and a full-time job. And I want people to know that perseverance is what's going to get you where you want to be. No matter what way you look at it, it's being resilient. It's overcoming every single obstacle that comes your way. And Eden Gray shows a lot of that. I show a lot of that in my promos. Early on in my career, I got injured. I tore my meniscus, and 3 months later, I was up and back at it like nothing happened. And it's just the mentality. I want people to remember the mentality of it. So that way, one day, they know that the only way to get what you want is to go head first. You can't just dip your toe in. You have to go all the way in. If you want to commit to yourself, the only way to do that is to go all the way in, and you can't be afraid of what's going to happen next.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. It's like you've set this
Absolutely.
goal for yourself and you want it to flourish. You're like, you got to go into it with 110%, or what's the point?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, there's like you said, this was always your plan A. And like again, that's something else I fully wholeheartedly agree with is because like even as a kid, they would be like, "Hey, what do you want to do with your life? Oh, I want to do this and be a professional wrestler. Oh, I
Yeah.
want to do this and be a
And
professional."
yeah.
I got in trouble in pre-K because I suplexed a kid because he bit my finger. You know what I mean? I'll tell you that story later, but like you have to in this business, you're people like to say it's like a 50-50 game of like 50% mental, 50% physical. But I honestly, I'd say it's like 70-30. Because like if
Hmm.
your mind is out of it, dude, you are not going to perform well in the ring.
Yeah.
I've had days in practice where I'm just like, man, I'm not really feeling this. And it was like my worst days. And I'm like, dude, what is wrong? And I'm like, and then I'll have days where I'm just goofing off, having fun. And those are like the best drills I've ran. You know what I mean? Like this is a mental game. So if you're sitting there and you're like, maybe. No, there can't be a maybe. There
Yeah.
can't be a maybe. You have to go head first into it. You have to go balls to the wall and just run with this because if
Yeah,
you
Hmm.
you
don't,
have to trust yourself in those ways. You absolutely have to, because the second you start doubting yourself, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
yeah. And it's not only that, if you're not hitting the ground running, there's somebody else who will.
Hmm.
And there's somebody else who is going to take that spot from you because they're willing to die to make this happen.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like people would I've said it a million times with my training, people would probably kill to be in my position right now, to be where I'm at, to be in the ring, listening and learning from the people that I'm learning from. So I gotta be ready to like go. You know what I mean? I can't just like half heart this shit. I have to do this full through and through. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, so you had mentioned the 4-hour drives 3 days a week. while having children at the house, obviously wrestling takes up so much of your life. Um, when you get time, what's something you're very passionate about outside of wrestling?
So, fun fact, I work in a preschool. Yes, I did dance previously when I was in training. That was really the only option I could make it work on the road. But I did start working at a preschool, not only just because I love children, but because it reminds me of the innocence of my own children. And it helps me connect with them in so many different ways. And just being able to kind of dig into their brain a little bit more since I started working at the school. So I think that my favorite days are just at home doing absolutely nothing except for artwork at my house. Like I'm a huge like I live to draw. Drawing is my thing. I'm not really too good at painting, but my children really like to learn how to draw too. So my favorite days are the quiet days where the TVs are off and we have pancakes and cinnamon and whipped cream on them, and we're just drawing in our little sketch pads. And it sounds silly for that to be one of my favorite things, but when you don't have a lot of downtime, it's the simplicity that makes you happy.
I was about
Yeah,
to say,
it's
you
the
said it
simple
sounds
things,
silly, and I'm like,
the
that
little
sounds
moments.
like adorable. That sounds
Yeah.
incredible. That's like I'll just be melted while I'm drawing. You know what I mean? It's the small moments in life that really just
Oh yeah.
those are the ones that stand out. You know what I mean? And those are the ones that they're going to remember as well as being like, oh yeah, my mommy beats people up, but also she draws really well. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. They're like, where'd you
do
get
you
that?
ever show? Do your kids like watch your matches, or because I'll show my nieces and like, dude, they're the biggest critics. You know what I mean? Because like I show them one sequence I'm running with this guy. He gets me in a headlock. I pick him up and throw him off of. I fell, but I pick him up and I throw him off of me. And my niece, my eldest niece, she starts laughing like really hard, and then the guy immediately turns around and lucha trips me. And she goes, ha ha ha! Ha. I hit the ground, and she goes, and just looks at me like, "You really let him fall like that? You let him trip you like that?" And I'm like, I gotta let him win sometimes too, man.
Yeah, you know what? It's very embarrassing in those moments for me because my daughter is 3, my son is 5, and we were
Mm.
watching back one of my matches like 2 or 3 nights ago, and this girl is just giving me suplex after suplex after suplex, like exploder after exploder, and my son's like, "Mommy, why are you just standing there? Do something, do something!" And like the comeback is about ready to happen, you know. So like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
anticipating on them to like understand, hey, I got this. You just wait, mommy's gonna knock her down. But they're just watching me like, why are you just letting her beat you up like that? And I'm like, because she
Why are you
just picked me
bullying
up and
him?
slammed me like 4 times.
It's like
Yeah, no.
I
So
need time to catch
they
my
were
breath, man.
they were real disappointed when I got lucha trip, but they popped real heavy when I came back off the ropes with a clothesline from hell, just knocked his head off, and they were like, "Why didn't you just start with that?" And I'm like, "I had to get there, man."
It's like we're storytelling. Come on.
Because they'll look at me and they'll be like, "So is this like this is this is fake, right?" And I'm like, "Listen, eh." You know what I mean? Because like I don't want to lie to them, but at the same time, it's like I know who's going to win.
Yep.
We know who's going to win. She knows that, but she's like, you won't know. I will know. So you will never know if I'm winning this match or not. But you best believe your uncle is going to be out there kicking as much ass as he can because he's always going to look good. Um, so she's told me that she's only going to come to the shows that she knows I'm winning, or else she's going to jump the guardrail and beat up my opponent. And she will. Um, my nieces are insane, and I love them for it.
One
But I
time I
think
got super excited. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It
you're good.
just
You're good. You're
reminded me
good.
of like uh I got booted in the face once. And okay, when I throw a big boot, I don't throw it at somebody's face. I was taught to throw it at their shoulder so I can just plow them down, you know, like I'm like if I'm throwing a big boot, whether you're taking your own bump or not, you're gonna bump because I'm not
Right,
kicking
because you're
you in
gonna.
the face. I'm using my momentum to push you down.
Mhm.
And this one girl, she just flat out like aimed right at my face, and I was very new, so I wasn't expecting to actually be kicked in the face, but I totally was. and I came home with like a giant black bruise that just took up my entire face. And I showed my mom the match clip, and she's like, "You know it's fake, right?" Mom,
No, mother.
I've been wrestling for like 2 years now. What you're telling me it's fake? I'm showing you the bruise on my face, and like, it's just the concept of people not really understanding.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
wow, mother, is it because this hurts? My
See, I
mom has the
was
complete opposite effect. I come home and I'm like, yo, I got the shit beat out of me tonight. She's like, you signed up for this. This is on you. Like, let me explain to you what kind of woman my mother is, right? Because I'm here in the kitchen right now. Um, I also hear my cat tweaking for some reason. I don't know. But my mother, she was the EMT that would patch up everybody at my dad's shows. Um, she was also the only individual to ever injure my father, who was 6'8", 360 pounds, maybe. Still, terrifying woman. She when I was like 5 years old, this guy goes through a flaming table, which I still have like PTSD, quote unquote, from. Because when me and Mr. Payne went to a show, they tried to do a flaming table spot, and I like literally had to turn around. I was like, "Tell him to take his shirt off. Tell him to take his shirt off," because this guy goes through a flaming table with a cloth shirt on, and that cloth caught fire like nothing. And he had third-degree burns all the way up his back,
yeah.
like
Oh,
got hit with a fire extinguisher as well. So now there's chemicals as well as the third-degree burns. So my mother spent 3 hours cleaning dead skin and chemicals out of this guy's back. So when I come home and I'm like, dude, I got kicked in the face. She's like, you signed up for this. This is
oh.
the life you chose. You did this to yourself. I don't want to hear it. I'm like, I
But
know, but I'm still allowed to complain that it hurts.
yeah. She's like, let
She's
me
like,
sit you down and told you what I've had to see.
oh no, I was in the back while she was doing it. I was talking to my dad.
Oh God. Yeah, and luckily, the show we went to, the table wouldn't ignite, so it's like because it was
But no,
like
literally,
light
I grabbed
rain.
his shoulder and I turned around. And I'm like, tell me when he goes through the table. I'm like, I cannot witness this again.
Yeah, it's a time and a half, and that's the same show where we had a ladder literally swipe across our face too. I
Oh
was
no.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they were fighting in the crowd, and luckily, the guy who did it. He knew that like even if we did get caught, like I've been training. Austin at this time was training, so it's not like we would be like, oh, bam, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's not like we would freak out and be like, oh my god, I'm suing this place. So like he suplexes the ladder. And that's how it happened. He like picked it up and suplexed the ladder onto the other guy. And it was like, and I go, I almost died.
yeah. It's like one of those surreal, like slow motion moments where it was like,
Yeah, like you could see it's gonna happen, and you're just like, ah.
That's
yeah,
me with like when I'm charging somebody in the corner and they throw up a back elbow or like a boot, and I'll be like, oh, don't lean too far in. And then I did. God, I fell again.
Oh, I
Keep
just run
falling.
right into it. Just
yeah. It's like,
I'm
all right,
see, I'm
this
that
is
way, but I'm
happening.
like, let me at least get pocket, especially if it's an elbow. If it's a boot, I'm like, "Bam!" and I'll headbutt the boot, and like it's fine because it looks like it knocks me out because I'm literally like grabbing your foot and headbutting it. But if it's elbow, I'm like pocket, please God, pocket, or else I'm going to regret my decisions later.
Love it. So you were talking about the moments earlier, just sitting at home, enjoying family and just the togetherness. Looking back on your life, what's a specific moment that felt small at the time, but ended up shaping who you are today?
hmm. Again, a self-reflection that I don't really think about. So, give me a second. Um, a small moment that I don't really think about that actually made an impact. Um, well, actually, this is a big moment, but it was small at the time.
Mhm.
You know the feeling of when you're in the middle of life and you can almost feel your path divide in two separate directions, and like you know that the choice you make is going to be critical, but you don't know what choice to make. That's kind of
Mm.
what happened to me.
Mhm.
uh I when I left my job at the gym, I knew it was going to go one or two ways. Because what happened was I was managing a gym, decided I want to become a professional wrestler. I quit my job on the spot to go become a wrestler. And in the real world, that sounds like craziness. Like, who just walks out of their job and is like, you know what, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. And that's what I did. I had no plan B. I had no kind of income coming in at all. I was just like, you know what, I'm doing this. I'm done here. 9 to 5 is not for me. And I knew in that moment it was going to be a big choice, but I didn't realize that it was going to entirely change my life. Um, I thought that I was just going to kind of live like a free life, not really having any obligations other than my children. But what ended up happening instead was I ended up having to live on the road for almost 2 years. So in that case, it was like, okay, yeah, you're going to become a professional wrestler. But what about all this other stuff?
Yeah.
Like I didn't think about all the extra stuff. I didn't think about, oh, how was I going to make it to Rochester, 180 miles away from my house 3 times a week? Like, how was I going to do that? How was I going to pay for that? Those are not thoughts that crossed my mind at all at the time. So I think that that would kind of be something, because now my life is entirely different. And now I am traveling all over the East Coast, and I've had like 60 matches since March. March.
Wow.
Oh shit.
So, I mean, like, I'm a first year, like I'm going into my second year in
Mhm.
January. So for me, that was a lot. It was like 10 bookings a month. It was training 3 times a week, 4 hours away. It was uh, trying to manage the children who are now in school. So I guess it's just one of those small things that ends up snowball affecting life.
It's like a
Yeah.
domino effect. Yeah. But
Yeah.
like people ask me all the time because like they're like, dude, you're doing this whole like professional wrestler thing. Like I've left 3 or 4 jobs that could have easily been a career just in training. Like I'm not even on the road yet, but I'm like, no, this isn't like I need this job to work around wrestling, not me work around it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I
Right.
need this to work around wrestling. And I tell every boss this. And they're like, well, this could easily be like a career. Or, yeah. Or like, I'll be talking to my friends. They're like, this could easily be a career. Won't you regret leaving this job? And I'm like, but what if yes, I could do this job for the rest of my life, whatever, be set up, be happy. But would I, in 20, 30 years, when I look back on my life, what would I regret more?
Yeah.
The
Not
fact that
trying,
I'm
and yeah.
not, yeah, the fact that I didn't go balls to the wall to make my dream of dreams happen,
Yeah. There's always
or
that what if,
like,
you know?
yeah, or like, cause like now, like even if this whole wrestling career doesn't work out, and I look back like 20 years from now, I can still say at least I tried.
You did it.
You're like,
You
I
you
did it.
tried.
Yeah.
And, you're going to be eventually 60, 70 years old. And what if you have to spend those years saying to yourself, I could have tried, but I didn't?
Exactly.
You
What
can't
I
take
don't
that
want to.
back.
I don't want to be like, what if? What if I didn't
Yeah.
become a professional wrestler? What if, like, dude, the whole reason I started doing this was because I made us myself. This is about to get really deep. This is probably the deepest I've ever going to be in this podcast. But the whole reason, like, I was miserable before I started training. Like, genuinely, I was like 19, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what I need to do with my life, but there is something. And I remembered when I was 13 years old, my father was just shot a month ago. So I don't know if you know my story. I'm gonna get into it. My father was a wrestler who he also worked as a bouncer at the club that was here, right? And he would wrestle and he would work at the club. And like there was a lot going on behind the scenes at my house to where my dad needed to be at this club this night because my father was also a vet. My dad he was in Operation Desert Storm. Like he was on a mission that was so brutal they made a movie about it. You know what I mean? If
My
you've ever
dad
heard the
was
movie,
too. Yeah.
have you ever heard the movie Black Hawk Down?
Of
He was
course.
he was there. My dad
Yeah.
was on that mission. My dad was one of the Rangers getting the Delta Force boys out. You know what I mean? So like my dad did a lot. And then he comes home and he starts wrestling and he starts his bouncer job and he has to be there that night and a gunman comes in or like some gang related violence starts. My dad throws the guy out. He's outside on the phone with the cops and he gets shot. And a month later I am standing in the wrestling ring as they are having like the 10 bells like thing, you know what I mean? So one of the things my dad always wanted to do was if he died, he wanted his ashes to be spread in a wrestling ring. So as I'm doing that, I made myself a promise like I have to do this now. Like it was always
Mhm.
I wanted to, but this is I now have to because who else? If not me, then who? Like my brother had no desire to wrestle. He loves it. Don't get me wrong. He loves wrestling. He loves talking to me about it, but he has no desire. And now he has 3 kids with another one on the way. You know what I mean? So I'm spreading these ashes around and I'm like, I have to keep this part of him alive
Mhm.
because if not me, then who? Which is the whole reason why I started the desire, the love, the like it became I want to do this to where I have no choice. Because
Yeah.
now when I get a bigger platform and like I start doing all these things, more people are going to start looking, they're going to hear my story and they're going to go, well, if he can, I can.
Yeah.
So now
Exactly.
I have to. You know what I mean? So it like it snowballs into like that one tiny moment that feels so like whatever. It's a child making a promise to himself.
Yeah.
Turned into like it was a genuine promise, and now I'm here. You know what I mean? And now I'm leaving these careers that my mom is freaking pissed at me about because she's like, dude, you could have just been so great. And I'm like, dude,
Like
just
most
hold on.
people think it's
Just hold
crazy.
on.
Most people think it's insane. Like, I used to make sub wafers, like microchips for Tesla. Okay, like I had a very, very good job, and I left knowing that I probably wasn't going to get a job like that again unless I went back to school, back to college, and I chose professional wrestling. And my mom's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that? Like, don't you have to grow up eventually, was kind of the way she
Right, right.
put it
Mhm.
to me. And next thing you know, I'm like, Mom, guess what? Wrestling is paying my rent right now, you know?
Mm,
So her mindset completely changed pretty much overnight when she realized that I'm not playing wrestler. I'm not playing weekend warrior. I'm
Yeah.
making this into something serious. And everybody has the opportunity to do that. You can be a weekend warrior. That's fine. As that's what you want to do and that makes you happy, you can do that. But for me, it was like, I'm gonna make this an income stream. And with
yeah.
that mindset, I made it happen. So then once you start putting in that aspect, people start to change their minds about it, and it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like, we only take you seriously if you're out over here, or you're out doing this, or you're in WWE. Like, trying to convince people that you're serious about your craft doesn't mean you have to be on TV,
Yeah.
Right.
like. And a lot of people are just so mistaken by just lack of knowledge in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
It's
right there with
blown
you.
up so
Jobs.
much recently that it's like it's for me, I'm like, okay, I understand, but like because like the indie circuit just went from like here to here in like
Yeah.
a few years, man. Like it's blown up and I am here for it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's so hard for people to realize like because the indies were always like, "Oh, indie shows. You mean like we're going to Josiah's backyard to throw around to each
Yeah,
other?" And like, no, like we're selling out venues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my first match is going to be in front of like 600 people. You know what I mean? Like my debut, like we have there's numbers here. Like it's not
Yeah.
just like 25 people and 20 of them are your friends and family. No, this is like
yeah,
this is legit. This is real. This is a very real thing and it's blown up. And I love having to sit here and like tell that to people because like they don't believe it. and
Mhm.
then I show them, and they're
And
like,
then they're like, "No way, that's so cool."
yeah, and it's like they get another respect. Like I've seen my brother's love for professional wrestling get revived because of me, because he's heard me talk about it, and then he realizes like how dope it really is, and he hits me with that like older brother nod of approval. You know what I mean? Like I get that, and
It's
I'm
like,
like, I'm winning. I'm winning.
yeah. No, it's
One of his I
crazy.
told him one of his
'Cause
kids is going to be my third generation prodigy as well.
mhm.
So
We were just a WrestleCade too, and like the numbers of attendees there, like over 10,000 people attended. And it's I was like, "What?" I
yeah,
was
never in a million years
hold
would
on.
the kid who grew up on the indie scene, never in a million years would I ever picture that 10,000 people would be there for just wrestling. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like I was used to maybe 100,
I'll
whatever.
be
That's on
honest
the
with
top.
you, I didn't even know about the indie scene. Like growing up, I had no idea that it was a thing. We didn't have any around here where I live. So to me, the only way to become a professional wrestler was to move out of state and be on TV. And
Yes,
I don't know,
Mhm.
there was
yes,
no process of becoming a professional wrestler. There was no
Yeah.
like schools that anybody knew about. Social media wasn't as big when I was a kid. It's not like you could just go on Google and type in professional wrestling schools. Like not all of us had like internet access on our phones or whatever.
Yeah.
So like I had no access to the knowledge of even knowing that the independent scene was a thing. And now we have social media and now everybody has quick, easy access. We're not mailing out VHS tapes anymore to promoters to showcase what we can do.
Yeah.
So everything
kind
is
of
just
different.
spreading like wildfire and I'm here
Yeah,
for it.
See,
I
hey,
love it.
that's the same thing with me too. I was like, how did people get here? Like in terms of WWE, you know, like they're just like there. I was like, hold on. And then you hear their stories. It's like, oh, these people were like ex athletes, or these people were cheerleaders. Like, okay, those I understand, but like, where did everybody else come from?
Where does average Joe become a professional wrestler? You know what I mean?
Right. Like there's some sort
Yeah,
of like
no.
line or something. Is there some sort of like what am I
What
missing?
contract do I sign for this?
It's another dimension. You just whoop. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, literally. But no, like something to go back on, like the mailing to VHSs, stuff like that. So my dad had to
Yeah.
do that. And one of the things I genuinely miss, I say I miss it, but when the time comes for me to like have the opportunity to do this as an adult with social anxiety, I don't do it. But I miss being with my father while he would go up to these places, putting posters up, handing out flyers like that. I miss that because my homie commanded the audience. You know what I mean? First of all, he was a drill sergeant as well as like after Desert Storm, he was a drill sergeant and then a search and rescue diver. So he had that like commanding presence, but also man could have easily been a stand-up comedian because guy was hilarious. He would sit there, he could talk the shoes off of anybody, and he would give you his shirt off his back. You know what I mean? That's the kind of man that my father was. He
Mhm.
would so he would be there handing out these flyers. People would stop and talk to him. Next, we're talking to these one people for like 30 minutes. Just one person, just to get one person to come to a show. We would sit there and we would sit there and we'd talk to him. And we would like end up on a first name basis with these people. So like when they showed up to the show, he would be like, "Oh, Joe, whatever." Like come up and like he made that mean something. And like, sorry, I was getting a phone call, but like he made those moments mean something. He connected with people on such a beautiful level
Yeah.
that like everybody was there for Crunk at the end of the. That was my dad's wrestling name. Everybody was there for Crunk at the end of the day. You know what I mean? He could never be heel because every time he would come through the crowd, they would immediately like cheer, and he'd be like, "Shut up!" and they would cheer harder. You
That
know what I mean?
happens to me too, so I get it.
Yeah. No, that's us. We're big heel guys, so it's like we're the only two in the crowd. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I cheer for heels all the time. I love me a good, and I've come to realize with now us running Shine and Heat and all this in class, my heel work compared to my face work is night and day because like I feel so comfortable being a heel because all of my favorites are heel. Insert Carry and Cross, insert Oba Femi, insert Kane, insert all these other like really big they're all heels. Like if you listen to me talk about my idols, they're all heels. So when I break down how to be a big guy as a face, I'm like, how do I do this? Like I genuinely I don't know how to do it.
Like touching base on that is I've always been a heel and I didn't mean to be and I never wanted to be and I still don't want to be. Okay? Like I started as a manager for somebody who was a heel and by default I was heel. It's the
Yeah.
black hair, it's the tattoos, it's the
Mhm.
heel manager. I got stuck in a role I didn't want to be in and a role that I didn't belong in. But the first time I was babyface actually happened by accident. It was me standing with a microphone, mic's not working, crowd is cheering. They want to hear what I have to say. I'm
Yeah.
just coming back from injury. They want to hear what's going on, and they're cheering like I'm a local to them. I only live like an hour away, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, a new female wrestler!" Boom, big baby face pop, and I have like such a bubbly personality. Like all the time. I'm just always smiling all the time, and I feel like to pull that off as it's hard for me. It's I want to do the athletic cool shines. I really want to get everybody invested in, oh my gosh, the underdog, when is she going, like I'm skinny, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm a very petite woman, so it's like people want to see me do things. So when I'm heel, it's like, okay, now I gotta cheat and I gotta look like I don't want to be here, and now I gotta like find a way to make this work for me. And I say it all the time. I'm like, when I work with wrestling companies, sometimes I don't think they do their research, because anybody who does research on me or my matches will look at me and say babyface. But there have been times where people have put me in matches with somebody who would have been a way better heel, who always like gets the heel reactions, who's super aggressive, who looks like the tank in the match, and they will completely reverse the roles and they'll put me as the heel, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Now how's this small petite woman supposed to make this? Because like as a heel, you're in control for most of the match. You know what I
Yeah.
Yeah.
mean? Like you're beating this baby face down. You are
And it's
beating the
not
snot
even
out of him.
believable because I'm like
Right.
120 pounds soaking wet. And like, I just,
Yeah.
it's the only way for
That's
me
why
to
I'm
win as
always
a
I
heel is
tell
to cheat.
people I say target a limb. That's like every time we're calling something, they're like, all right, what do I need to eat? Because like I'm the biggest guy in my class. You know what I mean? I think I'm the no, I'm not the biggest guy. Tall, I might be one of the tallest in the academy, but like I'm the biggest guy in my class by like a lot. So these guys are like, all right, well, now I'm gonna run heat on you. What do you think I should do? I'm like, dude, grab a limb, target a limb. Like, I ran Shine, and then he comes in and chop blocks me, and chop blocks me, DDTs me while I'm on my knee, and then he just starts targeting my knee, and I'm like, that's beautiful because now I can sell that my whole match. Because like, take a man's legs out, guess what? Man can't body slam you, not as
Yeah.
good. But and like one of my finish, my go-to finish when we start getting to finishes is going to be a fireman carry cutter. So like if I can't pick you up, I can't hit you with my finish. I can't end the match. It's over. Target a limb. Please God, target a limb. Like I literally beg people like, please attack my arm. Please attack my knee. Do something. Because like realistically, if you just punch me, I
It's like,
have a
okay,
glass
I'll eat
jaw
it.
if that's the case. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I have a glass jaw.
Another thing is because I'm so high energy, I'm very dynamic in the ring. And I've noticed that when I am heel, uh, the baby face can't always keep up. So I'm always like slowing things down. It's like some opponents are getting gassed super early. And it's just like I have all of this energy. And I just feel like it works better as a baby face. Like I could target a limb all day long. It's boring to me. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
Um,
I get it.
no.
Some people are built to be baby faces and some people are built to be heel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I feel like there are people who naturally drift into a role and just like in this conversation, I'm like, she is through and through just a baby face. Because it's like you wear your heart on your sleeves, you're not afraid to be emotional, you're not afraid you're not afraid to be who you really are, and that is through and through a baby face.
Yeah.
So the
That's
day
why I
we
said I
get
don't think they do their research. They just look at me
right.
and like, heel. I'm like, no.
slightly emo, she's a heel. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, 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 no. The Eden Grey babyface arc is going to hit different. You know what I mean? Like it's gotta come soon, right? So it's and when it does, it's gonna hit different. Like I'm excited for that.
As am I. uh, so I've developed this segment here specifically for our women and the women's showcase. I call it Pretty Dangerous. Uh, it's where I give you a moment to reclaim your concept of femininity within professional wrestling. So I'll just allow you to tell a story that a time where you prove that being pretty doesn't necessarily mean being weak. It could have been like a difficult match you have been in, a harder promo you had to cut, even something you did to outsmart somebody, whether it's backstage or a fan. Um, and I want you to phrase it. I'm pretty dangerous because.
You know what? I'm pretty dangerous because I spent a lot of my early 20s doing fashion photo shoots, doing lingerie, bikini photo shoots, getting published internationally, where people only judged me by the way I looked. That's how I made my money. That's how I survived. That's how I paid my rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Becoming a wrestler on its own was me saying, nah, I don't want to be known for my looks anymore because I can do other things. Watch this. So for me, it was just always this crazy empowerment because every time I was meeting somebody and they were like, hey, yeah, you're pretty, you're a model, you're this, you're that. I'm like, okay, but watch what I can do. And I am so thankful that I have had the opportunity to do that because that's all I ever wanted for myself out of this life
Hmm.
was to be more than something to look at. And that's part of the reason why I couldn't stand being a manager. It was, oh, she's the eye candy. She's not ready to be in the ring yet. Meanwhile, I'm wrestling better than half the guys on their roster. But to them, it was just a pretty face.
Yeah.
So when I became a wrestler, it was, I'm reclaiming my power and I'm taking it back and you're going to watch me.
Yeah.
And then you know what? You're going to want me on your show and I'm going to tell you no. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So like for me, that's pretty badass
Oh,
to
yeah.
take everybody's like pre-assumptions about you and to be like, I'm athletic too.
Hmm.
There's no bigger power than that.
Yeah. You're like, sure I am, but I'm so much more. And I'm going to prove it to you.
Yeah, and it's like fuel almost.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're
You're over
like,
here saying all this, and I'm
I'll
over here
work
just
with
like,
this
fuck your
now.
shit. You drew that reaction of just like, talk your shit. All right, nah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
respect it. You
yeah.
got that reaction from me. That's why
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here like,
You're like, okay, okay.
keep
Yeah.
going. I love this. Keep going.
So, with the year ending real soon, going into 2026, wrestling aside, everyone's got a bucket list. Are there anything on your personal bucket list you've always wanted to do or try, and even your wrestling list too, going into 2026?
A lot of my personal stuff is relevant to wrestling just because
Hmm.
wrestling is my identity, it's my life. It's not something I just put on the back burner when I'm
Right.
home. You know, it's a 24/7 job for me. Um, 2025 was all about figuring out what I liked and what I didn't like. It
Hmm.
was getting into as many promotions as possible to see how they do things and to meet their roster and to meet people, make connections. 2026 is going to be much different because I know what I like and what I don't like anymore. So it's less about traveling and more about feeling whole. Because what I
Yeah.
realized when I was traveling on the road all of the time was I had like a sense of emptiness. Like I barely knew what city I was going into half the time. I barely knew where the venue was until like the day before. People were like, "Hey, where are you wrestling this weekend?" Me,
Uh,
yeah, and it shouldn't be like that. It's
yeah.
I want to be able to do this with my entire soul and my entire heart. So 2026 is going to be very selective with bookings. It's definitely not going to be just I'm here for a rep because I've already done that. I've already walked that. I'm not doing it anymore.
Hmm.
So I'm really excited about that because it means that I'm wrestling and I'm having fun with it. I'm not doing it just because it's half of my income. And that's what it felt like in 2025 was I'm here because it's paying my bills and I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be like I'm here because I love it and just giving myself that um I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's like I'm kind of giving myself that leeway finally, and
Mhm.
I'm not going to beat myself up about it if I don't have 100 bookings this year. It's just about doing it because I want to at this point.
Yeah.
I
You're
just
like,
want to be with my family.
it's the comfortability aspect
It's
of it.
like
You're like, look, I'm where
it's a mixture of
I
like
want to be.
trial phase versus like actually perfecting your craft now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this year was a trial, this year was me learning still. Now it's like I've learned. Now how what can I take what I've learned and perfect it and make it better? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. It's
and
kind
I
of
Let me play
think
it on
relaxing.
my terms. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's also why you get these like old heads in wrestling that are just like
Hmm.
bitter, and it's just like, why are you still doing this? Like the whole like, I don't want to just wrestle because it pays my bills. Because then if it gets into the mindset and it stays in that mindset, it'll always and forever be I'm only wrestling because I'm paying my bills. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the love will be gone, and
Yeah.
then you're just one of these old heads that just truly hate this shit, but like will
Yeah,
still
and
do it, you know?
yeah, and I don't want that to be me. Like I said, I'm dating a wrestler, and one of our biggest goals is to wrestle together. If that's the very last thing I do in professional wrestling, I'm good.
Right.
I've experienced everything I feel like in my childhood self I wanted to experience. For me, it was never about getting on TV.
Hmm.
It was doing it because I knew I could do it, and then I went and did it. So it's like at this point, I want to do it just to have fun, just to make those connections, just to have those friendships really close to me, and
Right.
it's just different now. My mindset's way different than it was a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I feel that. It's like I
that's
did the
great.
damn thing, you know?
Yeah, no,
I
for real.
walked
And
the
it's
walk.
it's crazy that you're going into your second year, and
Yeah.
I swear I've seen you like I've seen like the 60 bookings, and I'm like, Jesus. And like when I'm talking to Austin the first time we talked about trying to get you on this podcast, he's like, yeah, she like just started like a few months ago. And I'm like,
What?
he's had like 30 matches. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, I was
Like,
just at the right
yeah.
place at the right time. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when I was a manager, I got sponsored, and I was still
Okay.
in training to become a professional wrestler. And then this guy hit me up. He's like, "Hey, you want to come on Pro Wrestling Junkies?" I'm like, yeah, it was a full show. It was sold out. There was nothing but WWE ID talent there. I probably shouldn't have been there, but I had all
Mm,
the confidence in the world when I was there, which is really strange because I'm looking around and there's all these people from TV there, and I'm like, this is where I belong, Like I'm really
Yeah.
feeling that. I'm feeling
I
confident.
could do this.
Yeah.
And after that, everybody
Okay.
just started like booking me because they're like, "Oh, Eden Gray, who is that? She's on Pro Wrestling Junkies with all these WWE ID talents." And then
Yeah.
it just like caught fire. Like I had rockets strapped to my feet at that point.
Hey,
You're like, okay, cool. We're going now.
Yeah, and my coach
there's
is
like,
like, "You know what?
shit.
Your path is so much different from a lot of people's." He's like, "You're gonna have to learn a lot on the road, but I have all the faith in the world that you're gonna be able to do it and you're gonna be fine."
Mhm.
Because I think Loki, he was having like a mini heart attack. He was like, "There's no way. She's just all over the place." And like, you know what I mean? I was in one match, and then next thing you know, I'm booked every single weekend, or three matches a week after that. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, no, 3 matches a week. I think at the end of the week, I'll just be like, I need to go home and pass away. My body is hurting.
Call your boss. You're like, hey, I ain't coming in for like, at least 4 days.
Next January.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the
I'm
end of the
good.
day, it really got to me. It took a toll on my body. It took a toll on my mental health because I'm constantly driving like 10 hours multiple times a week.
Yeah.
It's too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. It's
God, that sounds awful. That sounds
so.
awful.
Um, we've also developed this segment here that I like to call Ring Ready. I came up with the name because a wrestler can truly never be ring ready without a set of gear. Um, So this I allow you to showcase the gear you have, tell the story behind it, the inspiration, and what it means to you.
So, funny story. I hate my gear. I'll explain. I'll explain. Don't worry. So this is my first set, and this is the one I'm going to share with you, and then I'll explain why I don't like my other gear.
Okay.
This is my OG Eden Gray gear. It's purple and black, and all of the colors are starting to come off. It wasn't
Oh,
ever supposed to be purple. It was supposed to be magenta.
Okay.
Um, I have a favorite like gym attire. It's called Kill Crew, and everything I buy is like hot pink, magenta, and black. And those are my colors. So that's what I wanted for my gear. And I kind of had like this elder emo vibe going on. Like I'm not full blown emo. I'm not goth, but I'm
Mhm.
somewhere in this like skater girl type deal. You know, like you're never gonna catch me not wearing skating shoes, you know? So
Yeah.
like I wanted it to fit that vibe. And being that I drew my gear and
Okay.
then I sent it to the gear lady and to the best of her ability, she created it. The color was wrong. It didn't fit me at first either because I had so much more muscle mass when I started wrestling and I was spilling out of my gear when I first got it. It was terrible. Um, but all in all, it's still my favorite gear because it's my first set. And
Mhm.
to me, that was like the solidification of I'm a professional wrestler now. I got
Yeah.
this
right.
really cool gear, you know? Um, but I also have this little jersey. It says gray on it. And then I got this little album, which I don't talk to these people anymore because the guy ended up having some background stuff going on. But this is all reason why I had my first match. So I wear it on my gear. Without this guy, I would have never been booked at Pro Wrestling Junkies. I would have never had my first match in front of all of those people in WWE talent, and I just wouldn't be where I am today. So I wear it on my gear. So to me, that's very symbolic.
Like it.
Uh, so just for everybody to see, there's me wearing my purple gear. I recently had a new set of gear made with an idea to turn more heel than I already was because
Okay.
companies were starting to book me as babyface after I tore my meniscus because they're like, oh, Eden Gray's injured. She's vulnerable.
Yeah.
So,
They're like the
after,
comeback story, you know?
yeah, they started
Yeah.
making me baby. And then they're like, oh, babyface is sticking, especially in New York. Like in New York, I'm always a babyface. They book me as heel. And by the end of the match, I'm a baby. That's just the way it is. So, I had this idea and it was innocent Eden Gray from a trainee perspective entering the wrestling business
Hmm.
and being corrupted by the mindsets of the old head wrestlers. You know,
Mm,
like you're too good for this.
Mhm.
No, superstars don't do battle royals type mindset because that's
Mhm.
like the information that was being fed to me. You know, like if you want to be something in wrestling, you got to put yourself on a pedestal. That's the information that was fed to me for
Mhm.
almost 2 years. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna use that as a heel gimmick. So it's gonna be babyface, innocent trainee Eden Gray being corrupted by her trainer.
Hmm.
You know, so the second pair of gear that I bought is red and or white and emerald, and I had like this glamorous look in mind. I was gonna come out with like a long robe, and I was gonna have like my long hair extensions, get rid of the emo stuff entirely. But that backfired so bad on me because I got booked at this place in Indiana, and the guy pretty much told me that he booked me because of the way I look. So he was used to seeing me uh emo Eden. So like to him that was my look. That's what he associated me with. So I'm like, that's what's selling. You know, I
Mhm.
have to do that because that's what people expect of me. That's what's selling. They're like, oh, Rhea Ripley this, Rhea Ripley that, Chris Statlander this, Chris Statlander that, and I have to feed into that because that's what the people want. Realistically, that's just the way wrestling works.
Yeah.
yeah.
So the gear ends up getting shipped to me from England. and it had
Wow.
like this terrible sporty look to it where it looked like I was a soccer player. Like if that's your thing, that's your thing. But that's not what I was going for at all when I bought the gear. Like I really wanted like an elegance type deal, and it
Mhm.
just ended up being sporty instead. And I'm like, this isn't gonna work. Like, I mean, I'm 60 pounds lighter than I was when I started wrestling. I'm not bodybuilding anymore. I'm not built like an athlete. I'm not a soccer player, and everybody expects me to be an elder emo. So we're not gonna use this gear anymore. So gear is a very important part of your gimmick. It can literally make or break you. So I just had to do away with it.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
I remember seeing you like debut the white and emerald gear, and I was like, that's completely different.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I work with it, but I will always like your starter gear just because my favorite colors are black and purple. So I will always love that because like I wanted my gear to be black and purple, and then I was like, yeah, but I also want to create a faction and have our colors be that, and then I was
Yeah.
like, no, that's Judgment Day. I can't do that.
So
Yeah.
maybe
But
like I'll stick with like the darker colors because like I said, that's what people expect from me. So at
mhm.
this point it's like I'll stay with the moody whatever. We're an elder
Yeah.
emo for life. That's just the way it is. No more
See, but
white
it's
and
like
green.
Once
not
a emo,
only
always a emo.
yeah,
Eh,
not only Jeff but me. I enjoy like the chains and the mesh and like the little sockets and stuff everywhere. It's like it adds character to the gear too. You know, it's like yes,
yeah,
I love it.
that's
Instead
character
of
dance. Good.
everything
Makes it
just
really
flushed together, you're like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
you.
That's
You
pretty
said
cool.
gears and
But it's almost
important.
time to retire this gear because like I said, the color is wearing out. I am like 60 pounds lighter since I bought it. And it's just it's seen better days. You know, it's been running strong for a year and it's just time to retire. Sad.
She's
I'm sad.
she, she needs a
You got to
rest.
shadow box it in your house now. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
this is my
Always,
solidification. You know,
always.
it's like great moments. You know,
But no, you
so.
said like your gear is part of like your gimmick, and it really
Mhm.
is. I had an original idea of what my gimmick was going to be,
Mhm.
was just fucking around on 2K. And I was like, well, I can't do black and purple anymore. What colors would I like to do? And I was like, what about black and white? You know what I mean? So I started messing around with that. Ended up finding a plague doctor mask, threw my original gimmick out the window, and was like, created a whole new one just because I liked the plague doctor look. And I was like, all right, how do I make it make sense to what I was already going to do? And now,
Mhm.
like, got this whole other idea just because I was fucking around on 2K, saw gear I liked, and I decided I was going to do it. And that was it. That was the only reason. Now I created a whole new persona that I'd love 10 times more than I ever did the first one.
You're like, oh, we're cooking now.
Oh, we're doing something now. But like, gear's important. Gears of
Yeah.
I've become a fan of wrestlers just because I saw their gear and I really liked it. You know what
Yeah,
I
it's just
mean?
their look. Like people take one
Mhm.
look at you, they're like, "Oh, that's my style. I could be friends with that wrestler in real life." Totally love
I
them.
saw the black and purple and I was like, she's got good taste. I like
Yeah, see
we
what
need
I
to get her
mean?
on the
Like it speaks to
podcast.
you. It's like even when I was a kid, like I picked my favorite divas based on what they looked like at first, you know, before I
Mhm.
actually understood wrestling. It was I like the way she looks. I want to look like her when I grow up. You
Mhm.
know, stuff like that. It's like I don't know. So I don't know what I'm going to do now because I just had like a breast augmentation done, and my gear is totally not going to fit me now. Like it's just not.
Mhm.
And now I'm like, now I gotta buy new gear, and my whole like Hollywood corrupted Eden Gray is like out the window unless I still buy more emo gear. But when I have this gear, people want me to be heel, so it's like I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do anymore. I don't want to be Hill. I want to be a baby. Cheer for me. Stop booing me.
Yeah,
I'm
like
sensitive.
There you
stop
go. I'm
judging
the
me
good
by my
guy. I
emo looks.
promise.
I I
Yeah.
have the opposite effect. I get booed all the time. I get booed. I'll be running my shine and I'll be getting booed. And I'm like, am I just really bad at calling shine? Is this what this is? And
Like,
they're
bro,
like, no,
really?
you're just a dick. And I'm like, I'll
They
be a great
just
dick then.
love to hate you. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, you got to think I am the biggest person in my class. So like realistically, I'm throwing this little white boy around I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, they're like, how can we feel bad for him? Because look at the size difference. How do we feel bad for this guy? It's probably like their mindset.
Yeah, literally. And it's like it's hard. It's hard out here for big guys, you know. It's like prison rules, you know. You find the biggest, the largest, you walk up to him, punch him in the face. I don't want to get punched in the face.
What did I do to you, huh? I'm just sitting here, the same thing you are, you know,
It's not fair.
just
It's
sitting
not
here
fair.
trying to enjoy my food.
It's hard out here for us big guys.
So,
Sad.
yeah. So year one, pretty much in the books. What's next for Eden Gray?
Well, first and foremost, I got to figure out what I am doing with my gimmick now because, like I was saying, I know for a fact I don't want to be heel. I know the reason why I am booked as heel. How can I change that? So that's the first thing that's on my mind is when I come back after healing is how can I change the visual perspective and still make it me?
Mm-hmm.
That's like
Yeah.
one of the biggest things that I've been working on. Um, I would like to do some tag stuff with my boyfriend. I would like to do some tag stuff with my trainer. Um, that's like one of my biggest goals in wrestling. You know, I just like the person who taught me wrestling. I
Mhm.
really want to tag with. That's non-negotiable for me in my wrestling career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I was mentioning, just kind of like finding the balance because I had no balance in 2025. It was all wrestling. And I just want that balance back where it's okay, yes, wrestling could still be career for you, but you don't have to beat yourself to the wall for it.
Yeah.
And you can still find the things that you love about it in a more calm way. So it's not go, 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 go all the time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm looking for
Okay.
2026.
Love it. Like again, that comfortability. It's like, look, I'm comfortable where I'm at. Sort of. I have my peace. I have my balance.
Yeah, like maybe like apply for like TNA or AEW or something, email them, get like some crazy spot or something like that and chalk one that in the books. But
Yeah.
like other than that, like I'm not looking for a full-time TV deal. So it's like, yeah, it is what it is at this point. It's like I just want to wrestle good people. I want to meet good people, and that's just where I'm at. I got a
Mhm.
family, I can't just take
Right.
off and be like, okay, see you guys later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love kids.
I hear the stories like that. They're like, we get like 3 days home a week. I'm like, oh god, that must be awful.
Yeah.
Because like you hear the TV stories and they're like, yep, you get like 1 day a year home. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, like I
Playing
got
like house
babies. I
shows and
can't do
TVs
that.
and this, yeah. And
That's something
even
I
the
do
ones
like.
who bring them with them, that's hard on them too. All the moving and the transportation and no.
Not only that, but they have another parent. And like if you're constantly moving around, you got other parent in New York, like it's just too much for young kids. It's way
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
So
the day
go
I
ahead.
see you on like TNA or somewhere like that is the day I will tweak and be like, holy shit, I know her. I've known her from the start. This is really cool. And then I'm gonna be like, well, now I'm jealous. Now I gotta do it. So
And you're gonna be like, I remember when she was telling me how she accidentally got booked in her first match.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's like, oh,
first match.
cool.
I knew her
It's
win.
yeah, I knew her win.
Her win.
Yeah. So for those who don't, where can people find you on social media? Keep up with your story, and all out support what you do. You know.
I am mostly active on Instagram at the Miss Desirable. I love to answer fans on Instagram. I'm highly engaged on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook, but the odds of me like reaching back out to you are slim to none because my messages get so flooded and overwhelmed. But I really try my best to be as productive on Instagram as possible. I try to show as much of my real life personality on Instagram as possible, but also in a gimmicky way. So I'm not totally breaking kayfabe, but I'm giving you enough of my personality to keep you engaged.
Mhm.
So I think Instagram's kind of like the fun option. I like to make silly jokes here and there, like inside jokes, locker room jokes. Um, I just want to put a piece of me out there. So mostly Instagram, honestly, but I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Threads. Threads I use a lot. Um, I'm kind of on TikTok every once in a while. I'm really into videos and pictures, so those are the best ways. I don't do Twitter. I think Twitter is a cesspool. Never really had Twitter. So, yeah.
Okay, I love
Twitter
it.
is like
I love it.
the hellhole of social media, so I get it.
Yeah, I
Twitter is
deleted our
like
Wild Side Twitter because I was going to start one for us. I'm like, no, and
it's
then I deleted the whole TikTok thing because like I was like, it's short form media. I'll just post that to the Reels side of Instagram. So it's like everything's just in one place, you know.
Yeah, and
yeah,
honestly, Instagram has been a real hit with reels. So
Mhm.
like they used to be like so photo based and photo focused, but if you can consecutively put reels out like every other day, every day, something like that, gets your engagements up so fast, your
Mhm.
profile visits so fast. You don't even really need another social platform.
Yeah,
I'm a
and like
perfectionist when it comes to my room.
I get it for
It's
streaming purposes. That's why we have all of our
yeah,
other platforms. But it's like you upload to one, it automatically goes to the others anyway. So it's
Yeah.
like that way you can find it wherever you are.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. No, I'm really bad about making reels because you can always ask Austin here. I was it 4 hours?
yeah.
That's been like
He
three
took
or
4 hours
four hours
to make like a 30-second reel.
because I'm like such a perfectionist about it. I'm like, no, I gotta have this here. This. Why did this get moved? Da, 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 da. Like I'm all over the place, and like you can
No,
see
no,
me
no,
like really.
no. Your
That's my ADHD.
consistency. Your consistency is so much more important than being perfect. I promise. I
Yeah.
promise.
My ADHD of like if I'm making something, I gotta be like, and I'm
Yeah.
like all over the place.
Maybe
But
you
like we
can
have a
edit
lot of
my
charts.
videos for me then because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, because he's like, I want it to match the music, and I want it to slam when it drops like this, and he,
I
he
have
got it.
one part where I'm spine bustering something, but it's more like a. So it's a we have a training dummy, and I was doing spine buster on a training dummy, which might end up being one of my moves now that I've actually started to fuck around with it. He's on my shoulder, so it's more like a spine buster uranagi kind of deal. So I do that, and like right when it hits, I wanted like the one part of the song to
To
drop,
go.
and I'm like sitting
Yeah.
there, get it, 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 and I'm sitting here like as the show is like we're waiting for the show, I'm sitting here like, no, that wasn't perfect. No, that wasn't perfect. That
Like, ah,
perfect,
it's off.
beautiful. Now I'm chopping up everything else, and it's I do it. I like what I like editing, but at the same time, I like it too much because I want it now to be perfect.
And then
And
meanwhile, he watches what I do. He's like, oh my God.
how do you do this so quickly?
And I had to
He's
show
like,
him, I
dude,
was like, you want to see what I have to do? He's like, oh.
he's like,
You know, a lot
yeah,
of people are asking if your show is going to be live because they wanted to watch it. So I'm upset that it's not
Oh
live.
no.
Trying to get in your ear, like nudging at you. Hey, make this live sometime.
Yeah.
yeah, no, the moment you said that, I was like, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
no,
that.
seriously, because it's like real life. People want to see real time.
Yeah.
It's so much more fun for the fans too because they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're here with them right now. This is so interesting."
Right.
We
Right.
could ask a
And
question. We could like, if we see it, we could ask it back. I like that. You know, you might have just
yeah,
did something.
it's like, hey, we
We
didn't
will
think
have to
about
credit
that.
you.
Yeah.
Chines.
Right.
Just
So I don't know why I waited too long to ask this, but you're taking a step into the Wild Side Wrestling podcast, right?
you
Um,
forgot this question.
yeah, I did. If you were to choose any animal to represent you in the animal kingdom, what would you choose?
I'm gonna say a wolf, and a lot of people think that's because the lone wolf, but that's not what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm going to say a wolf. because wolves do better in packs. I couldn't be here without a team because no man fails or succeeds alone. So I would say I'm a wolf.
Love it. Love
We've
it.
had one person go to say wolf and then immediately switch to something else, and then we're like, hey, we've yet to have a wolf. So now we have a wolf. We
Can't fail or
finally have a
succeed
wolf.
alone. We need a whole pack to make this work.
Yeah. Like
And everybody
I'm the
like also
gorilla of our
thinks
group.
like
He's our raven. And it
I'm a
took him a
raven.
minute. He was like, wait a minute. He had to double think on it.
I literally had I was like,
I
what
sprung the
character
question on him. He was like,
it's like what animal do I really feel like is me? And like I said like earlier, you were talking about being an emo, like an elder emo, and I go, my favorite animal is a raven. You know what I mean? Like I'm at one of my old jobs right as winter hit, and there's a single raven sitting on a branch that is like slightly bent over, and it's like a dead tree, and it's just a raven sitting there, and he's just living his own life, and I'm like, that's me.
Aw,
Like I love him. He
that's
loves me.
beautiful.
I love him. Cause like he's sitting here, he's watching after everything, and he's like just happy to be there,
You know,
man.
this is
And
chill.
they're
I like this.
yeah,
Mhm.
and they're smart. They're smart animals. They
Yeah.
will remember your face. They will. You can literally trade with ravens. Like if you train one, like you can sit here and like trade with them, give them little silver trinkets, and they'll come back and find something that they think is shiny, and they'll give it to you. Like
Aww.
ravens are intelligent animals, but
Mm.
also they're very mythical creatures,
Yeah.
especially in like the Norse paganism. Like their god, he uses ravens. Odin uses ravens. He has Hunin and Munin on his shoulders, and they work for him. Like you know what I mean? So it's like that on top of like the mythical like aspect of them. I'm just like I'm a raven, dude. Because like
I
I want to
play
be a
a lot
super.
of video games, and I feel like that's giving me definitely like majestical magic aura. I
I
don't know.
plan on being a supernatural plague doctor. You know what I mean? Like that is my gimmick. That is going to be my gimmick. I am going to I came up with this idea, and I'm glad like I get to share this with both of you because this has been something I've been trying to like figure out how I want it to work. Is plague doctors they would use like medicine vials, right? So I'm a supernatural evil plague doctor, whatever. So I want to do like have like little glass vials that are maybe made out of like sugar glass, you know, like the stuff
Mhm.
that they use for rocks that just shatter. But I'll do that. I'll take a drink from it, spit in your face like poison mist, and then crack you in the head with a vial. Because like I'm evil.
I
So like
kind
if
of
I could
like that though. I really do.
yeah, because it's like because like first of all, the spit itself is illegal. So like that's why I want a faction as well with this character. So that like they'll be distracting. I poison mist, then just and then like before the ref can realize I'm pinning and it's 1, 2, 3 and I'm over and I'm half.
You know, I had like a very much darkish original gimmick when I was in training, which I ended up not doing because, like I said, I accidentally got booked for my first match. I was incomplete for my first match.
Yeah.
Uh, but like my original gimmick was, hey, my name's Eden, right? It's like the Garden of Eden. You think of something beautiful, you think of like this
Mhm.
sacred place. But who Eden originally was something much more sinister. I like had a diary, which was actually like a book of death, which was like a hit list
Mm.
of my opponents that I
You
wanted
had
to.
a death note.
Yeah, I had a death note. I had a death note, like a hit list for wrestlers, and I was gonna carry it around. But also, all my promos were gonna be cut like I was writing in a diary. So it's
Mhm.
just gonna be me writing in like the internal monologue of like, dear diary, but in reality it's this dark, sinister death notebook. And like
I love it.
I never got to finish it. And then I'm glad that I didn't because I wanted to come out with like wings and all this other stuff. But then turns out there is a wrestler named Fallen Gray.
Falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got the
Always
wings,
said waves
and,
was
and I
falling.
saw I saw that like 3 months after I debuted, and I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't accidentally like halfway steal this girl's gimmick. But I just thought I'd share that with you because your little plague doctor reminded me of my original Death Note book, and I think that's adorable.
Yeah, my whole gimmick is So I'm a plague doctor, and what do plague doctors do? They eradicate the plague and the infected. So the reason I've become this like sick, twisted, evil, supernatural plague doctor is because professional wrestling is plagued.
Hmm.
And I go after the infected and the ones I deem unworthy. So now I'm doing this to prove that like they are infected and they are unworthy, while at the same time finding the ones that I do deem are worthy and drawing out that darkness within them. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And that's why there would be a faction, because we have one guy. I already have a target on the first person I'm corrupting, like corrupting instead of not like recruiting, but corrupting. He goes by Linnaeus Preaches. His whole gimmick isn't a gimmick. It's him. He has a YouTube channel. He's a linfluencer, right? Because he's like stupid puns with his name. Love the guy, but he likes stupid puns with his name. But like he's an influencer. That's his gimmick. He comes out. He literally live streams like as he's making his entrance. I've been his cameraman. And like this whole time, he'll be live streaming and then he'll get cut off and he'll get beat down. And I'm like, I am going to corrupt you and I'm going to use that influencer side to
Hmm.
where now you're going to be live streaming me beating down somebody in backstage. I'm going to corrupt you, but unfortunately, the way I do it is I also have to beat you down. Sorry.
See, I had something similar planned too, because being the king of the jungle, I'd live off of the jungle, thrive from that. I originally left because humanity is broken, and I'm like, I can't live in the society that's broken and corrupt, so I'm going to go my own path. And once I conquer this, I'm going to come back and conquer humanity too. That's why I asked the what animal you would be in the animal kingdom, because I have a staff that's going to be part of my gear set. And anytime I beat that person, I'm going to add a charm of that animal to the staff. Any sort of like charm or totem. I'm like, look, I'm adding to my collection, sort of thing. Kind of like my Infinity Stones.
I love that. That's so
Yeah,
creative.
we made this joke with the last person we were on. When you come to the Wildside Wrestling podcast, you secretly sign a contract that says you eventually have to have a match with us. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And, like it has to have, because I'll find myself becoming such a fan of the people I interview. Like
Yeah.
through and through, this has genuinely been my favorite episode we've done in a very, very long time. From like the bottom of my heart, I mean that. So like naturally when I have those really fun episodes, I become more of a fan than I already am of these people.
Because you're
And
already
now I'm like,
invested on the wrestling side. Now you get to see them
The
genuinely who they are.
person, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And
It's
now I'm
like the
like, I have to
connection
wrestle
just
this.
gets stronger.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like now I gotta meet this person and also have a match. Sorry.
Yeah. You didn't zoom in on the initial message and read the fine print.
Nope,
Like
I didn't. But I'm totally okay. Just make sure you bring Colin Delaney. We can have intergender tag.
Love it. Love
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
Love it. Well, Eden, it's been great. We appreciate you taking your leap into the animal kingdom. I definitely look forward to seeing what 2026 and beyond brings you.
Yeah, I'm genuinely
And
excited.
yeah, with that, follow Eden, follow her social media, check up with her, and see what she's up to. Miss Desirable on Instagram, as she said. Also, check us out, Wildside Wrestling Podcast. You find us, same thing on all platforms. J James Wrestling, underscore
JJ
wrestling, right?
Wrestling.
Yeah, I got it
JJ
this time.
underscore wrestling. That's my wrestling account.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and leave you with let the interviews continue.
And stay wild, my friends.
Thank you. Stay wild, my friends indeed. Oh, welcome to the pack too. We're all wolves here. We're all
Oh yeah,
wolves.
love it,
Raven Wolf.
love it. Raven Wolf, I love it.